And I feel that this is like just what the path that I am on. Some people, first of all, I believe in synchronicity and exactly who I'm going to meet in all the right timing. So it would be a much different video for me to talk about the fact that I believe that in destiny. I believe in timing. I believe that much more than me trying to call something in and make something happen. I believe that I'm going to meet my person exactly when I'm going to meet them, and everything between now and then is going to be this perfectly orchestrated path of healing and transformation and growth. Hi, and welcome to today's episode of Sacred Intimacy. Today, I wanted to do more of a personal share. I shared before all about my sex story, my sexual history. And today I really wanted to share a bit about my relationship story. So I want to begin by saying this is probably the most vulnerable share I have ever done in my life. You can actually hear it in my voice that yeah, it's something that I've been putting off, but I've also been putting it off very consciously. This year, I really felt the shift away from being on social media. I have always put a lot of vulnerable shares there, and I really consider that to be one of my deepest callings in life is to vulnerably share. And it's actually written in my gene keys. It's written in my astrology. It's very much what I'm here to do is talk about my process of being a human and have some really intense lessons and I have a pretty intense wild life, and to let that life turn me into a softer, more open-hearted person, and then share what I've learned with the world. And I actually, it brings me tears to say that because, yeah, I heard once when you hit your life purpose, there are always tears there. When you really hit it and you really feel it with your heart, there's tears. And my tears are here because I know that I am on this planet to share vulnerably. And in particular, I believe my vulnerable shares are here to be around relationships. And I have a lot of people who have been reading my posts for years, and I'm so appreciative of that. And people will come up to me. I had someone just recently, even though I haven't been on social media this year, and I'll explain why. But he's like, yeah, you used to post these beautiful, vulnerable shares, and this is someone I've never met before. And so I know that when I open my heart and I share my stories in a way that comes from my own personal experience of what has moved me to become me in this life. And when I share that, I know it's very powerful for people. And but I have not really shared much about relationships, maybe like this much. And that is because I feel that I have not been ready to share about relationships. Now, there's several reasons for that. And the first one is the most vulnerable of all. It's something that is so deep within me, and it's very vulnerable to share. So I just appreciate anyone who can hold me here, but that I have shame around being a middle-aged single woman. And the interesting thing, and I feel my body when I say that, actually something just releases, and I just feel, actually, it's like, the thing is that the shame is not my shame. It's the shame of how the world sees it. In my reality, in my life, the way that I feel is, or not just what I feel, what I actually know about myself, what I know without a shadow of a doubt is that I am in exactly the right place of where I am meant to be on my path of relationships. I know that at such a deep spiritual level. I know that I am meant to go through everything that I have ever been through. None of it is random. None of it is like, oh, this is some, like kind of random situation that I'm finding myself in. No, this is a part of my perfectly unfolding path. And I feel grateful for it. It's definitely part of my life that is challenging, and it's also part of my life that is beautiful. It's part of my life that is most transformational, and so I'm grateful for being exactly where I am. But on a public level, I feel like that is my shame. Like, oh my gosh, are people judging me? And, when I think, where does that come from? Well, it comes from being judged, throughout my life. And I'm especially thinking about my, someone who I love very much, who I'm very close to, who told me that, I'm still single because I'm being punished by Jesus, because I'm not giving my life to Jesus and going to church. And so I just want to, give thanks for like the fact that I stopped talking to this person for 1 year. And after 1 year, we made up, we are fine. And this person, very clear, first of all, this person is older, much older. And so we can also give them a pass for being older. And also, this person is respecting my boundaries, and we're in a very good place right now. So I just want to give thanks for that. And, but to also say that these are the sorts of things that have been said to me that, that come into my heart and make me feel shame about our people judging me. Also, I just feel like it's a vulnerable topic, and I also feel like it is one that I have not been ready to share. I just haven't been ready to say, okay, I am going to come out and talk about relationships, because I feel that I have been going through it. I have been in the portal. I feel that up until this year, I was very immature around relationships. There was, again, I see this on a very deep soul level, like my soul incarnated to live this sort of like wild, free, youthful life for a long time, which involved, I was married, I did a lot of traveling, I've been in a ton of different relationships, and how it's beautiful. It's exactly what I was supposed to do, even though during that time, much of that time, I always, wanted to be in a relationship. At the same time, I think I lived exactly the life that I was supposed to live, of this sort of young, joyful, youthful spirit, free spirit. I feel this year I suddenly went into a new phase where I am I'm more mature about relationships. I'm more I'm a little less, I'm not going to just jump into bed with somebody before, and start attaching to them sexually before I know them. It's like it's taking time, looking for red flags, doing a lot of healing work because everyone that comes, so I'm doing a lot of like conscious dating. And well, I'm doing my best to be conscious, but like it feels like almost every person that I am, there's always a reason why they show up. And it's always a learning. It's like I'm learning so much. Um but I really just felt like I this year I sort of transitioned from that person who was very wild in relationships and very just like immature and not ready, even though she wanted to be. So that girl has come into the person that I am now and needed this year to just stop talking on social media. It felt completely inauthentic for me to talk about anything other than relationships because that is the thing that I'm always processing. Like I said to my sister recently, my sister is like my super best friend. I was saying to her that she talks about, she has her one or two main subjects that she talks about. And my main subject that I bring up is relationships. There's always something going on in my field around relationships. I'm learning. It's like something is being constantly activated in me to learn some deep relationship lessons. And I believe that same people, they're really calling their beloved in and they want the one that they're going to have the perfect relationship with. And I am so up for that. If my absolute perfect person arrives, that's awesome. But I also feel this feeling of I know that I have a lot of learning to do. Like, I don't feel like I am just 150% ready right now for like the perfect relationship because I feel like there is still a lot of shadows and blind spots and places that I need to learn. And like I said, I'm dating people, and I've been well. First, I went through a period this year of not dating. I took really some time off, like 6 months, and then I've started dating, and it's like very synchronistic with each person. And I just feel like, wow, I'm learning a lot. I still have a lot of learning to do. And so I want to come on here as somebody who a I am a relationship coach. And this is something else I could do a whole video on, is that I am a relationship coach and I'm still on this crazy path of relationships. And in some ways, I feel like I got to the point in my relationship where the just being on my own, I felt it complete. I actually felt it coming to an end, this part of just like taking off from, I just needed this 6 months and I felt like, yes. So it feels like there's a certain activation. And I also want to name my fear of saying, oh, are people going to want to be coming to me for relationship coaching and intuitive coaching if I am still learning about relationships? And I'm actually very honest with my clients. Most of my clients, maybe not all of them do we get to that conversation, but I certainly have no problem telling people that I am still working through this stuff, and that I believe me working through this stuff is making me a better and better coach, and that I already feel like I have a lot of incredible wisdom because of everything that I've been through, of, you know, all the relationship stories that I've been through. It's amazing. It's like, and how much I'm learning and growing all the time. And my wisdom, I feel, is really not necessarily about helping couples. Um, I do see couples, but I feel like my wisdom comes so much from I feel so deep in my soul how much I've learned around loving yourself, being your authentic self, being what it takes to be you entirely with freedom. And I believe that I embody that. And that is what it takes to become somebody who's getting ready to be in relationships. So I feel like I have a tremendous amount of knowledge and wisdom, hard earned, about being single and preparing yourself for a relationship. Yeah, so yeah, so that is just a little intro to my relationship challenges. I'm going to pull some cards and just see what wants to come through around obstacles and challenges within my relationships, and how, yeah, I mean, so many. It's what I often say is I feel like I still have a lot of kid parts in me. And there's these places in me where, like, I'm very, me being me is totally, like, I'm really healthy in that. Like I said, me being in relationship, it's like there's a lot more stuff, a lot more learning, a lot more growth. And I just want to say, like, my full body yes to that. I really want to say my full body yes to the challenges and initiations that I am here to go on my soul journey of being in a really healthy, happy, joyful relationship that I know I am here to be in. Like, I know that I am here to be in the most amazing relationship. I have always believed that. I have always felt that. It's like there is a burning knowing, a burning flame of knowing that I'm going to be in an amazing partnership with someone someday, however that looks. And I'm such a yes to it, and a knowing, and I also know that everything happens in perfect divine timing. So yeah, here I am just learning, like, even these people who I just date like once, twice, three times, four times, it's like there's always these learnings. And my sister is, like I said, my super bestie. And she was saying to me, your life is like a TV show. Your life is like a TV show. And I'm like, it really is. And so, with all these relationships, all these stories, I mean, I have so many stories around relationships, wonderful ones. And I just see that this is going to continue. And so I am officially putting myself out into the world as someone who is here to share my journey of relationships and, teach from my experience, the university of, beautiful, empowering, joyful, fun, sexy, relationships on planet Earth. I just have so much joy about it. And, like I said, it's vulnerable and it's very, very, very intense around choosing wisely. Um, you know, we have to be really in our essence of what I am choosing now compared to what I was choosing a year ago. Certainly what I was choosing 5 years ago. Like now I am coming into this place where I want to be very careful about who I connect with. So one of the things, again, I'd love to make another video about the fact that I really have not had sex this year. And yeah, that I'm waiting to have penetration with someone and until it's really like going to be a relationship. And yeah, that's like a whole new piece. And I thought if I just didn't have sex with people that we wouldn't trigger each other, but that's not true. It's not. I mean, that just creates a whole other 5 layers, but still there's plenty of learning um even within uh just non-sexual dating. I feel like every single like one of these relationships, I have to like go deep down into the mud, and I'm like deep down, just like in it, and it's painful. It's like I don't want to be in this. I want to be like and I have to do this healing and self-love and all this initiation. And then I come out on the other side, like, and there's the rainbow. And I feel like I'm just in this right now. And these are like these little baby initiations. And I just like, yeah, all of them are these ego deaths of, having to go down deep into the old stuff, the old patterns, question, feel it all, and then rise up and in the process learn some really crazy lessons. um yeah, so using our intuition, and our intuition to me is a full body intuition. It's the third eye, it's feeling with the heart, it's feeling with the gut, feeling with the pussy, um or the penis, feeling our bodies fully alive. And yeah, just really feeling that full body, like yes and no. And sometimes it's really complex when you feel that you one decision is like the right one, and then you're like, oh, I make it, and then like I second guess myself and I'm not sure. And so it's, for me, it's a lot about choosing and questioning and analyzing and learning even what is my yes and no? How do I find my full yes and no? And where is the trauma belief systems and patterns covering up my full yes and no? Yeah. Yeah, lots of waiting. By the way, everyone, I am like, I pull cards, and because what I am is I believe the reason why I am really guided to sit down and make this video is because there's so many people like me out there. I would say that um I am one of these people who's like, I'm here to help people with relationships. My life is a microcosm of what is happening in the world. how these lessons that we have to learn. It's like I am someone who's here with a lot of collective. What I go through is very much for the collective. That's why people resonate with what I say. And so I'm pulling cards that the universe wants me to speak to, and I'm speaking to them from my experience, but it's guiding sort of the energy. And so, yeah, here it is, the waiting game. So it's like I'm in this process of waiting, and as I'm waiting, I have to go around and learn the lessons and feel the energy, and it's a matter of divine timing. And so if you are someone who is going through big relationship initiations, rather whether you're single or in loverships or partnerships and they're ending or breaking, or there's challenges and you're not sure if you know, all of these initiate relationship initiations, it's like, this is what I'm here for, and this is what we are going to be talking about on this sacred intimacy, because this is what is alive. And it's about moving on from old ways of doing things. You know, old ways of doing things. If I was, I would have gotten married. I got married, and I would have stayed in my marriage. I would have just stayed in it. And you know what? The thing is, I do really love my ex-husband, and I bet if we'd stayed together, honestly, it probably, if I had chosen to stay and have kids, and which I don't even believe that there was a choice to do that. I believe that this is exactly what was meant to happen. But say if I had done that because we were back in, you know, an earlier time in the history of the planet, and um, I would have stayed, and we probably would have been happy because we got along well and we would have made things work. And I would then be at the end of of my life and say, okay, I had this person and it was good, and we lived a good life. But there would always be something. The thing is there would always be something, because I believe that I am one of these collective people who's here to really learn through relationships and really also and have this very special connection as a reward for all this relationship healing. This, I see it as like karma clearing, like clearing out the traumas of the planet, of my own ancestors, of my own soul, of you know, it's like clearing out through these different ways of being and moving on from the old ways. And so the sort what sometimes I feel literally clueless, like in some of these relationship situations, I'm literally like, I am clueless. I don't even know what I am, you know, really truly what to do. um and I think that that's beautiful, because we're finding new ways to be, and moving on from my, like, it's like I've shed a skin and now I'm this new baby skin, and I have to learn to be this new part of myself that's like relating at a more conscious evolving layer, and there's going to be more skins, and I'm here for it. And so, you know what, that is me coming out. I enjoyed making that so much. It felt so freeing. It feels like, yeah, I've been really feeling like I need to come out and talk about these things, because I know that there are people out there on the planet who need to hear about this. Who, I know that there are people that need to be feeling the medicine that I need to give through sharing my own stories and my own just like, yeah, clearing together. So I'm really calling in people onto this channel who are in these initiations and in these phases of learning how to be in a conscious relationship with a conscious, sexual, awesome, beautiful, yummy, divine, embodied relationship first with ourselves, always starting with ourselves and then with others. So, and the earth. And so, yeah, giving thanks for the sexy new earth that we are creating. Yeah, again, I'm Shezza Sheryl, author of The Sexy New Earth, and I'm really excited to have anyone who arrives here, and just sending you so much love on your divine journey of relationships.